Last week was another pretty good one for us in the Battle Royale streets as it pertains to the skeleton keys. So we're going to do the exact same exercise, going through quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, highlighting the guys who have the greatest discrepancy between their projection and where they are going in average draft position. I know that probably the projections as they exist on Run the Sims are not 100% final. Some that are so bad we can just completely disagree with it. Like Kyler Murray might project well. He certainly is not going to project as the top overall quarterback. I do think it is pretty interesting that the projections do largely agree that Justin Fields should be the first quarterback drafted. I mean, it is insane for Justin Fields to ever be the quarterback one, given how narrow his bands of outcome or how wide the bands of outcomes have been for him in the past. But I do think that against this Dallas defense, you certainly can just kind of load up Justin Fields as the quarterback one. I mean, obviously, he's the quarterback one. I don't think that he would be the skeleton key. And I think that we are going to see exactly what we saw last week, which is that Daniel Jones is in an unbelievably good matchup in the Dome against the Las Vegas Raiders, against a Raiders team that has one really good pass rusher, but a relatively weak secondary. Daniel Jones is outside the top 6 quarterbacks drafted, although up to quarterback 7, his ownership would be higher than you would think. My guess, by the way, is that Jaden Daniels is going to be playing and that Lamar Jackson is not going to play. And in fact, it has basically all been confirmed at this point that Lamar Jackson is not going to play. Then you see a bunch of guys who are all projected the same. Kind of interesting to see the projections bleed in to CJ Stroud's projection there, better than Baker Mayfield, better than Bo Nix, who I do think is pretty strong, and Geno Smith. On the other side of that Daniel Jones game, I'm going to be way above the field on Daniel Jones. I do think that Justin Herbert continues to have those 3 stacking options. Ladd McConkey, maybe a little bit of a Freudian slip that we led with Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Keenan Allen, all of whom are going to be leverage plays as well. But we're going to run it back exactly the same as last week. Daniel Jones makes our skeleton key list at the quarterback position yet again. What I'm asking myself is, do I have it in me? Do I have the courage after watching Geno Smith play against that Chicago Bears defense to say that if this is a 2% drafted guy, he's going to be on 1,200 total teams, maybe 1,200 might even be too high. Do I have it in me to take Geno Smith? I think the answer to this is probably yeah. I do think that Geno is an unbelievably good play. Part of the reason why I think he's such a good play is that Hurts certainly has a lower ceiling than in years past. Goff has a really low floor. Dak has a really low floor. Jaden Daniels is going to be playing banged up. So I wonder if in the main BR with $50,000 up top, I do wonder if you can probably get away with, can 24 points win the Battle Royale this week? I'm tempted to say yes. Maybe that's bad. I would need my boys John and Nez, but I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna give Geno Smith. You can stack him with Jacoby Myers. You can stack him with Brock Bowers, and you can stack him with Trey Tucker. I do think that Trey Tucker is a pretty reasonable option. He is going to be totally unowned, actually, after getting drafted last week. And I'm also going to put Kyler Murray on this list because Kyler Murray is so eminently stackable this week. You can get Marvin Harrison Jr. in any draft you want. You can get Trey McBride in the 3rd rounds. Michael Carter and Amari DiMercado are not James Conner and Trey Benson, respectfully. So I do think we probably see a slight shift towards the pass. And this is a matchup where the Arizona Cardinals should more or less be able to do whatever they want on offense. Now, Kyler Murray has been the quarterback 16, the quarterback 20, and the quarterback 14, I believe, in the 3. And then I don't remember what he finished in week 4. But the additional scramble rate has not turned into great fantasy numbers for him. And I do think it's probably a pretty balanced week at quarterback. I think you take Fields with Garrett Wilson. I do think you obviously shouldn't have 0 Jalen Hurts. I like Goff conceptually. I do not like Jared Goff near as much as a 100% drafted guy. Everyone and their mom and their uncles and their brothers are doing Jared Goff double stacks this week, taking Goff, St. Brown, Goff, Laporta, St. Brown, Goff, Gibbs, JMO, every permutation of the 5 relevant lines, right? Goff, Gibbs, JMO, St. Brown, and Laporta. Every combination of those players is going to be fairly owned. You guys are talking a little bit about Stroud. I mean, certainly you can take Stroud with Nico. I wouldn't make that a huge part of my strategy because I do feel as if the problem there is, what is Stroud's absolute ceiling? It can't possibly be that high for Mr. CJ Stroud. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm a hater. CJ Stroud this year, 18, 12, and 14 points. You definitely need him to get to like 24, 25. So that's the 3rd passing touchdown in there. Has not had 300 passing yards yet this season. Obviously, everyone is out for the Raiders. But right now, I'm calling the quarterback skeleton keys Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, and Kyler Murray. Happy to take any feedback on those guys that you want, but I think that we should move to the running backs now because we only have a 10 game slate. Easy is saying he's got 31.6 as the average highest quarterback score on the slate. Well, that makes me a little bit less interested in Geno. That makes me a little bit less interested in Stroud. That makes me a little bit more interested in any of the guys who can run, which is obviously Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray. But moving to the running backs, here is what we are contending with. You have Jonathan Taylor, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devin Achane, Hampton as first-round picks. You then have Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry as inefficient old guys who are in spots to get incredibly good volume. Barkley and Henry can each score twice in this slate, like very easily, and still average 3.5 yards per carry. Actually, I don't. I will say I'm probably going to be underweight. So that's less than 16% of my teams on Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Scatterboo is coming in at kind of an interesting price. Like we did see Jackson Dart not really all that interested in checking down, but Scatterboo still projects very well. The Run the Sims projections here are spoiling who the first skeleton key at the running back position is going to be. And this certainly is not novel. Everyone and their mother and their brother knows that Breece Hall is basically, Breece Hall kind of ties it all together on this slate. If Breece Hall gets 21 rushes and 4 receptions, that's going to take a lot off Garrett Wilson's plate. It's going to take a lot off of Justin Fields' plate, and he is almost certainly going to be in the optimal lineups. Again, everyone also knows this. If you've not heard this yet, David Montgomery's sister suffered an accident about a year ago. She has not watched him play. He is from the Cincinnati area. This is going to be the first game since David Montgomery's sister got in this accident that she's able to see him play. I would assume that you guys are familiar with Dan Campbell and what Dan Campbell does. Dan Campbell is going to give David Montgomery a touchdown in this game. That is just, you can fight it and you can say, oh, these guys, it doesn't project, whatever. David Montgomery starts this game with 6 points as his projection. The Detroit Lions are going to be able to do whatever they want in this game. I would say that of all teams in a given weekend that are most likely to score 50, the Lions have to be the most likely team to score 50 just because they continue to try and score when they are already up a certain amount of points. They're basically the only team in the NFL that will go into the fourth quarter up 20 points and still try and score. Other than the narrative, I mean, I think that is just so clearly evident that it's just a very good spot for Montgomery in general. Also, if you play David Montgomery in a lineup that does not have any other Lions teammates, David Montgomery touchdowns and David Montgomery possessions are going to take away fantasy points from St. Brown, from JMO, from Gibbs. You definitely want to be, I think you want to be significantly above the field this week on David Montgomery. The Tony Pollard industrial projection complex is going to continue to just, you gotta play Tony Pollard. I'm thinking no. I'm an Alvin Kamara guy in terms of scroll at running back. I'm not going to give Woody Marks skeleton key access because I know he was very good last week, but I'm not sure that he himself is that good, right? I'm really not. He could be, he might be, but also he was like not a great interior runner in college, and there's going to be a lot of interior running. Again, the Baltimore defense is very poor. Baltimore is starting Cooper Rush, so it should be a ball control game. Nick Chubb is still going to get the ceremonial, first rush attempt in this game. But the skeleton keys at running back, in terms of scrolls, if you will, guys who are not 100% drafted, Brees Hall, David Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, and Rashad White. None of that is to say that Taylor, Gibbs, A-Chain, Hampton, Scattaboo, Ginty are bad plays, because they are not. In fact, I would guess if I looked at my exposures right now, Ginty would probably be my most drafted running back. I think it's insane that a player this talented could come off of a 3-touchdown game and everyone could say, oh, well, it was just the Bears. It was just the Bears, bro. Got to draft Cam Scattaboo over Ashton Ginty. It was just the Bears. Like, this is a running back prospect, the likes of which we've not really seen since Ezekiel Elliott. Like a comparable or better prospect than Bijan Robinson, a first-round pick in fantasy football. He's unbelievable. I think you definitely want to be overweight on Ginty. Now, the running backs are kind of fun. The wide receivers, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. There are a lot of fun scrolls at wide receiver, but wide receiver by and large at the top is not nearly as fun. So we have the usual names. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jackson Smith-Njigba, who lead the slate in projection by a lot. 16 points for St. Brown, 15 for JSN, 14 for Nico, 14 for Pickens. Interesting to see that the Run the Sims stuff has Jamar Chase higher than Garrett Wilson. I mean, my opinion would be I'm definitely going to be light on Jamar Chase. I think that the initial ADP ordering of the wide receivers is correct. I think you want to have, a giga amount of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am taking JSN right now, currently ahead of Barkley. Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields is probably the highest optimal probability stack of the slate. Don't love CJ Stroud with Nico. Fine to pick Nico. Igbuka's fine. I don't love taking Baker Mayfield. Chase is definitely fine, but I'm never, ever, ever taking Jake Browning. So you eliminate yourself a stack there. Very funny to see Quentin Johnston here. It's just kind of funny what's happened with the Chargers projections in general. Basically, we start to get in a muddled area with the projections after Jalen Waddle, right? So Jalen Waddle projects very well. Actually, interesting that on FanDuel stuff, I wonder if this is not updated, or maybe this is just at 12.34 for Jalen. Yeah, so the Jacoby Myers industrial projection complex retains its solidity as it always does. But then you've got, Tet, Debo, who I played a ton last week. Debo was a skeleton key last week. I think he got 18. Not quite enough to hit winning lineups, but still pretty good. Obviously, everyone loves JMO. I'm going to toss Marvin Harrison Jr. into the skeleton key conversation. Maybe a controversial one, maybe not. But we are talking about a clear, relatively high-end wide receiver one. Earns targets. Everyone just thinks he stinks. But this is a matchup where guys who stink anyway can still get there. The Tennessee Titans are unprepared in every phase of the game. They've let guys get wherever they want. Michael Pittman Jr., I think Michael Pittman Jr. should be going ahead of Tet. Michael Pittman Jr.'s target volume, his raw participation is only going to go up. I'm going to go to the mat with Mr. Ladd McConkey as well. And then I'm also tossing in Chris Godwin here. Chris Godwin returned from his injury to 17.5 expected fantasy points. He basically just immediately was who he was last year, and that is not the way the market is treating him right now. Came back from his injury, 91% of the routes, 26% of the targets, 25% targets per route run, had really healthy utilization, 73 utilization rate, 15.1 ADOT. So these are just not all checkdowns. Everything looked really good for him in week 4. Mike Evans is going to remain out, played way more than Sterling Shepard, played way more than Tez Johnson. So I think that this is like just an insanely good spot for Chris Godwin. I think he's clearly in the skeleton key mix. So Marvin Harrison Jr. can play him with or without Kyler, maybe even better without Kyler. Michael Pittman Jr., probably very high combinatorially owned with Daniel Jones, but still very strong. Ladd McConkey, man. Look how dark this has gotten for Ladd McConkey. Last week, 16% of the targets on the season. He is seeing 19% of the Chargers' targets, less than Keenan Allen, less than Quentin Johnston by far. It's just a huge bummer that these have been the results thus far. Now, does that mean, oh man, Ladd McConkey's dead, it's over? The things that have happened in the month of September are going to be the things that continue moving forward. I mean, obviously, I'm saying no. I'm looking at Ladd McConkey as the wide receiver 18, and I'm saying, not today, Satan. Not today. We could be better than this. Yes, very much not a bummer for QJ believers, of which I was not one. Should have listened to my boy. Some of the other guys who the projections like Chris Olave, Cortland Sutton, actually Debo, they like less than the projections. JMO is negative leverage according to, and Marvin Harrison Jr. actually is negative leverage. I bet when Terry gets removed from the projections that Debo is going to receive a nice little boost. But the skeleton key wide receiver stuff is Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Pittman Jr., Ladd McConkey, and Chris Godwin. Those are all wide receivers I plan on being well ahead of. And I would toss Jacoby Myers in there, but that is a don't do as I do thing, because I'm going to draft Jacoby Myers, but my hopes of that going well are relatively low. The tight end position, I mean, look, Tyler Warren every single week, Trey McBride every single week. I really wanted to be back in on Brock Bowers, but Pete Carroll confirmed that he is going to be wearing the brace for yet another week. The brace is no good. I think we have clear, demonstrable evidence that Brock Bowers with the brace is not the Brock Bowers that we want, not the Brock Bowers that we need. Still going to take a little bit. I think I'll take 10, 12% of him or whatever. Jake Ferguson remains a good play. The issue that you find with Ferguson, Laporta, and particularly Waller is they just are going to be a lot more owned than their difference in their projection. For example, Jake Ferguson right now in Run the Sims projects for 9.52 half PPR points. That is half a point better than Juwan Johnson, who's the tight end 10. Granted, there is a pretty big gap with Schultz, Ertz, Goddard, Andrews, some of these guys. Now, all these guys I think should be drafted to some degree. But to me, skeleton keys are pretty clear. I think it's McBride. I think it's Warren. And then if you want to scroll, I think you have Juwan Johnson. I think you have Mark Andrews. And I think you have Dalton Schultz. Now, I know that is a lot of guys there, but if you aren't attacking these two guys, like if you're not big on Ferguson, you're not big on Laporta. By the way, this Darren Waller as the tight end 6 is so funny. And sure, he might score a touchdown. He might score 2. But he is not going to be he's not going to score that many. He's not going to run that many routes. The routes are going to be very limited for him. He definitely can, bury me, and I will, take a little bit of a protection spot there, but I'm not crazy about it. And so I'm going to be underweight there. I think that, honestly, you can scroll for every tight end pick you make. You can take a lot of Juwan Johnson. You can take Mason Taylor. You can take Tommy Tremble. You can take Theo Johnson. I probably wouldn't take Evan Ingram. He's been so bad. But a lot of these guys are 0% drafted, and 0% drafted guys are relatively positive leverage. So that is a look at the overall slate this week. We only have 10 games, not a lot of particularly high totals in the main slate. Of course, the game by game show with Jacob is going to be coming out here in a little bit. but I can pull up the totals over on unabated.com if I can get rid of the overlay, because who needs that? But it strikes me as a relatively attractive week because I think there's going to be some bad chalk and some bad permutations that are relatively popular in these games, as it always is, but just not a ton of high totals. We have a 40.5. We have a 48 with Raiders Colts, but non-concentrated offense. 43.5 with the Broncos and the Eagles. 44 Dolphins Panthers. 42.5 Giants Saints. 48 with the Cowboys and the Jets. Again, very concentrated offenses there. Then we have the Tennessee Titans and the Arizona Cardinals at 42. The Buccaneers and the Seahawks at 44. The Detroit Lions, baby. 49.5 team total, or 49.5 total, but 10.5 point favorites for the Lions. Then the Commies and the Chargers sitting at 48.5. So that is what we are looking at this week. Very excited for these games. As I've mentioned several times, I am having quite a good year in the Battle Royale streets. Have been very close to the winner each of the last couple weeks. I have got some projections cooked up. I tried to bake a little VORP in over on ChatGPT just before I started. No idea what these are going to look like. They're probably going to look pretty close to the base stuff that you're going to get from Run the Sims and ETR, because I haven't had much time to cook through them. But you never know, boys. But that is the lay of the land. Week 1 in Battle Royale. We're going to be drafting this one out of the 4th slot. I'm very excited for this slate because one of the things that it feels to me is this is a big scroll slate. Not going to surprise me if, that ADP range 10 to 25, if you look at the ADP, like, not going to surprise me if Nico all the way down through Debo are like all bad picks, basically. And if all those guys are bad picks, then the way that I approach these games is probably going to be closer to good. Yes, it is. It is certainly a ball knower slate. I would agree with that. Maybe not even ball knower, but it is going to require. It's going to require a little bit of initiative. It's going to require you to not match the field with your exposures, I think, which is sometimes hard for me. Sometimes it is difficult for me to not just go, oh, well, the field knows something that I don't know about taking. I'll tell you one right now. I disagree with these rankings right away on Amari and Hampton. I disagree with them that JSN should go ahead of St. Brown. So probably need some more time to sit and cook through these. What I'm doing with Bowers is I'm going to have a smidgen of Bowers, but less than I normally would. I think that the projections are having a hard time accounting for his knee injury because his target share and stuff is still fine. There's a longer track record of Brock Bowers being efficient. Brock Bowers is just not very efficient right now. And that's okay. Chad says he's mildly worried about Hampton without alt, but I've been told I'm a panicking. Chad, you are panicking. I can confirm these reports. I'm not worried at all about Hampton without alt, mostly because he's been so efficient as a pass catcher. And there you go. We are gonna take this is I think this is my favorite combo start. Amon-Ra St. Brown and JSN. When you only take a smidgen of a player, how do you adjust the rest of the lineup? I mean, ideally, you would be able to keep it at the forefront of your mind that you don't have much of Nico Collins. You don't have much of Marvin Harrison Jr. You don't have much of Brock Bowers. And so you want your high exposure guy. Well, this is just my thought, is if I'm only taking a little bit of player X, then I want the other 5 guys in that lineup to be guys I have a lot of exposure to. So it increases my chances of a hit on a slate where I was right. Like if you think of your lineup as a core, like in salary cap DFS, if you think of like, oh, I locked 5 guys in a lineup and then I played, a different iteration. I locked 5 guys, then I played 150 lineups with the other lineup spots altering around that. The reason JSN is projecting higher than St. Brown is because of the range of outcomes as far as market share goes. I mean, that might be fine, but I am just not going to tail that at all. As expected, Brees Hall is one of the absolute projection smashes. One of the things I like doing is doing the double scroll at running back. So you do Brees Hall and then you take him with Rachaad White, or you do David Montgomery and Rachaad White, or Alvin Kamara and Montgomery together. That's just combinatorial ownership that you are going to be finding that is very low. Yes. Well, the Monty narrative is very real. I feel very confident in that. Now actually what I'm going to do here is I am going to select Jaden Daniels and set myself up for the double scroller at running back, because I've decided I don't want to take Brock Bowers on this team. Just not going to be taking just really not going to be taking that much Brock Bowers. Feels crazy because I have been such a Brock Bowers guy, but there just is no denying he's been a lot worse with this brace. Turns out football is a lot harder to play when you have an unstable knee condition. Yes, the touchdown survivor for this whole cast on Splash is literally just going to be all David Montgomery. It's true. It's true. It will be. All right. So St. Brown, JSN, Brees, Jaden Daniels. These obviously will not be uncommon players to be paired together. So I'm thinking, man, boy, you know what? I don't think I've ever disagreed with a projection-based ranking more than Chase Brown over David Montgomery. So there's probably a lesson to learn in that for me. It'll also be really interesting to see if Rico Dowdle ends up getting any chalk ownership here, with Chuba Hubbard very likely getting ruled out of this game. Not sure if it will happen, but it's really just when we start getting into the part of the year where these where Q tags start becoming important. Is there a tight end I want to take? You know what? Sure. I will take Brock Bowers. There you go. I said I decided I didn't want to take Bowers on this one, and I lied. I lied to all of you guys. Any teams you are fading completely? I probably won't take any, since I guess I'll take a little bit. I'll take a little bit of Jamar Chase maybe, but I'm not crazy about it. I guess Rachaad will still get decent owned from swaps. So that's something to be mindful of, is that there are, a certain percentage of teams that drafted Bucky Irving, a certain percentage of teams that drafted Chuba Hubbard, that is very going to end up being a swap. My favorite backup running back play this week is Rachaad White, followed by Rico Dowdle, followed by Amari DiMercato, followed by Carter, followed by Sean Tucker, followed by Trevor Etienne. I mean, David Montgomery would be a good pick on this team, but I am worried that we are just we are not deep in the combos at all here. So I am actually going to take Rachaad White, a guy I've not selected much of, but a little bit of correlation there with Jackson Smith and Jigba. So Jaden Daniels, Brees Hall, Rachaad White, St. Brown, JSN. Really only one scroll. So all 100% drafted guys other than Rachaad, and Rashaad's going to end up being popular. So what do you do? What do you do? Thinking About DFS comes out immediately after this show. So right now it's scheduled to be a live premiere. And as soon as it premieres, I will we'll end this video and we'll check it out. If Bucky plays, isn't this team dead? Yes, it is. Yeah. But Bucky's not going to play. Bucky currently has a MRI scheduled on his. He's got a walking boot on. You know, I'm not taking any Bucky Irving. Maybe that'll end up being a mistake, but all right, here we go. We'll hop in another one. It sounds like Bucky maybe is more of a short-term illness, but also you really don't know. You really don't know with these guys. We didn't know Trey Benson was really injured until 2 days ago, and then all of a sudden he had a meniscus procedure. You know, these teams lie to us all the time. Well, I don't even. It might not even be lying. I mean, I think a lot of the time these guys want to play, but we just don't get good, clear information. I feel very bad about Baker doubles in 6-man battle royales. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Maybe a sim-based process would even like it, but I do not love doing Igbuka, Baker, and Godwin feels a little too thin. Quote, I'm concerned about Rashad given that he's not very efficient in the Seahawks. Well, I mean, you just need him to score. That's all it is. So can Rashad White be in a position to score 2 touchdowns? I mean, I think the answer is certainly yes. A-chain above Gibbs. I'm also not doing that. I see why the projections work that way, but I just disagree with the projections. How much is it punting to start Corum over Justice Hill? Probably not that much. Probably totally fine to start Corum over Justice Hill. I wish the Cardinals beat writers are the absolute worst. I wouldn't be 100% certain that Sean Tucker will vulture the goal line stuff. I think Jacob Sanderson had some good thoughts on that, where basically he was like, okay, if the team was ready for a multi-week injury, a month injury, a 2-month injury for Bucky Irving, they would really feel the need to integrate Sean Tucker, but probably not so much need for integration if Bucky Irving is just going to miss a little bit of time. You know, if Bucky Irving is going to miss a week or two, you can keep the offense the same. You don't have to, do anything too different. You can just adjust for the guys you have there. Here's a question for you guys. How often are you doing David Montgomery and Gibbs together? If you have 150 teams in BR, there are 64,000 entrants. Are you doing it once? Are you doing it twice? Are you doing it 5? Is it a core part of your strategy? Oh, this is really good. My wife just got me a pumpkin spice draft latte. I needed a little bit of extra caffeine today. My guess on the winning BR points this week, I'm gonna guess 155. Seems like it is gonna trend a little bit higher. Well, Nick says he's gonna do it 5+ times. 5+ feels high, particularly because I think it's gonna be like a big value in doing that is that it should be unique, but I don't know if it's going to be that unique. At the end of the day, it feels like it potentially might not be that unique. Wow, just got word from Pat Thorman that we actually got Michael Carter in our main event for $227. So shout out to us. Yeah, you know what? I will happily take Tyler Warren right here. Is there anyone I'm definitely no. Yeah, I'm just gonna take Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren is probably gonna end up being one of my biggest overweight stances this week. And I get this idea. I just wouldn't want to spend the limited Gibbs teams I get on what is generally a bad idea. Well, I disagree that it's generally a bad idea, but I think it is probably going to be too popular for the amount of times that they both get like 25 plus fantasy points. I don't think anything takes away from Gibbs's ceiling. I think they could literally give, like, the Bengals could give up 50 points here very easily. All right, live long enough to see yourself become the villain. How about a third round Quentin Johnston to set up a Herbert? Stacking running backs on the same team is generally a bad idea. It's only generally a bad idea because most teams don't have, 30 plus expected fantasy points together on a team. But the Lions have consistently in the Dan Campbell era led fantasy football in expected points available to the backfield by and it's not even close. I believe each of the last 2 seasons, the Detroit Lions have had over 30 expected fantasy points per game available to the backfield. That might even be low. I honestly, I think that could potentially even be low. Oh no. Oh, I thought we just got the freeze. Oh. So the Lions, you can't project the Lions like you project the Cardinals or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it is very similar. I'd have to pull up a RotoViz graph that it probably would take me it would take me longer than I would like to do that on stream. I would be fumbling around. Okay, so we got QJ. I guess, and something else I've really been trying to change about the way that I draft these battle royales is BR is really not, I mean, Peter has told me this a ton of times, but BR is so not a closing line value game. Just taking Herbert here and not sweating out the ADP value of oh, well, maybe you should have taken Genty. It's actually one of the easier ways to get good combinations of players is to just understand ADP is a social construct. These ADPs, and they change so quickly. There are not that many BR drafts per week. Wow. Just cracked open an ice cold canned Gatorade. You do know ball, sir. I do not track my combos other than to just try and do it mentally. I try and think okay, you've really been hammering Herbert and QJ. You've really been doing Garrett Wilson and Fields. Oh, you need to make sure to get a Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton. You need to make sure to get a Geno, Trey Tucker, something like that. Speaking of which, let's do that. Let's take Alvin Kamara. Oh, dude. We're gonna make people rend their garments right now. We're gonna take Geno and Trey Tucker with these next 2 picks, and we're gonna set ourselves up with infinite leverage. Yeah, I like Fields. Well, I mean, I like them how they're drafted or how they're projected. Daniels would be incredible leverage on the field if he wasn't 100% drafted, but he will be. All right, we are going to we'll do Trey Tucker first, and then we'll do Geno. We could take Daniel Jones if we need to. Well, I stole the ADP as a social construct line from John from the Badge Bros. It's all about staying fluid, Nick. You have to stay fluid. I decided I have not taken Trey Tucker yet in a battle royale, and I knew, and I know for a fact because Easy posted his sheet in the Sloppy Central Discord, which all of you guys should be members of. I mean, imagine watching this show and not being a member. Costs very little to support your friend, to hang out with your boys, get some members only content. I'm just saying. Imagine telling yourself a month ago you'd be drafting Trey Tucker. I can't imagine it. I would have been so mad. I love Sean Tucker this week. I picked up Sean Tucker in a lot of my leagues, but I don't think I'm going to be starting Sean Tucker in any leagues. Best case scenario for Sean Tucker is that he does get the short yardage work. I mean, I don't feel that strongly about it though. Well, no, I do feel strongly that Rachaad White is a better play this week. Am I scrolling to Jalen Tolbert this week? No, not gonna get to Jalen Tolbert this week. Maybe in the 12 mans, potentially. Might say it costs more to not be in Sloppy Central than to join. I would say that. I would hear it and I would agree with it. All right, you guys tell me. Are we taking Gino or are we taking Herbie? I'll do whatever you say. Gino or Justin Herbert. We have 20 seconds left to make this pick. You guys decide. You know, this is a great way to do RNG. All right. You guys all say Herbert. Oh, all right. DG said Gino. ACRR said Gino. Matt is a new member. Oh, we got Gino. I wasn't paying attention and we got Gino. Gino, Herbert. Well, you know the nice thing. You know the nice thing. Chad with a good pitch. Chad, welcome your new friend Matt. Yeah, you guys are my RNG right now. I can just I don't even have to pull up random.org. I can just RNG with you guys. You know a nice thing about BRs, I can literally go back in and draft this same team. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I get the second overall pick, I'll literally draft this same team, but I will take Justin Herbert instead. I do not do this, but I know that some of the big time volume guys literally go into drafts with specific teams in mind. So they go into the draft and they say, okay, you know, I'm going to try and take these 5 guys. If you were to tell me there were 2 Tuckers being drafted in BR, I would have assumed they had a kicker spot. Is what's his name even in the league? It's just okay. We got the 5th spot. Is Justin Tucker is not even in the league, right? Or maybe the Ravens will be giving him a call soon. I don't know. Especially a week like this, if you are maxing it, makes sense. Yes, I mean I do this, so I will go into a draft and be like, okay, so I want to end this draft with, for example, Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. Wonder where Sutton is in the ranks. Oh, wow. Who could have predicted Keenan Allen and Jacoby Myers being really high? All right, Sutton. Yeah, so or work backwards. I want to do Baker, Godwin, or I want to do Tet, Bryce. I disagree with this Tet ranking, by the way. I'm going to change that when I mess around with things later. We can do a Dawg Bowl qualifier after this. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think an unstacked Herbert team is probably fine. If you assume none of the wide receivers catches more than 1 touchdown, they're all pretty unlikely to be in the main BR. Now in the Wildcat, the victory formation, whatever, they could certainly all be in there. Does a week like this happen just because of the matchups? Combination of injuries, combination of fewer games, combination of NFL teams not passing the ball anymore. But it's mostly the bye weeks, right? Where you have 10 games. I mean, we've had a 13 game BR already this week. Yeah, every time I am met with this decision of JSN versus St. Brown, I'm taking St. Brown. Yeah, Dak goes 101. So we might be on draft getting canceled watch. So think about that. I'm going to do Hampton with St. Brown. That's a harder combination to get. Yes, of course, all members can ask anything they want at any point. You can ask about Saquon. I am officially worried about Saquon Barkley. I am of the belief that Barkley is trending down pretty significantly in efficiency, and he doesn't catch enough passes. Like CMC also is trending down in efficiency, but CMC catches so many passes that it keeps him fantasy relevant. I mean, Barkley is just not getting the ball in the passing game at all. I mean, they're not passing the ball at all. Yeah, exactly. And this is the other thing. The other thing is that they've just totally given up on playing fun football. They've completely given up on pushing the ball down the field, trying to do anything. It's just brutal stuff. All right, we're about to see what this guy in the one hole does. All right, he took Scatterboo, so I would say as of right now, pretty unlikely this gets canceled. But you never. I mean, if this guy takes Amari, well, I was gonna say Amari DiMercato is maybe draftable. He took a reasonable pick there, so maybe we can err on the side of not being canceled. Man, AJ Brown, Patriot. How about AJ Brown to the Kansas City Chiefs? How about we get AJ Brown to a team that is consistently league leaders in the PROE? Is any of it about not putting passing schemes on tape? I mean, Nick Sirianni might lie to you and say that, but I wouldn't believe him at all. Man, I just really disagree with this projection on Jamar Chase. I do agree with this Breece Hall projection, though. I do think that Breece is one of the more underdrafted players. So we're going to take Breece. And I actually have an idea for our backdoor stack here. AJB literally cried not getting drafted to the Patriots. All right. I'm gonna do Jake Ferguson, and then I'm gonna wow you guys with this final stacking permutation. Unrelated to BR, but I currently have the highest overall scoring big board team, and it was a team drafted against you. Sheesh. Let's go look at the highest overall scoring big board team after this. Any chance they roll in more Shipley and they just end up saving Barkley a bit? I mean, maybe, but the thing is the way they play, they probably can't really afford to do that. Wow. Jay Genzel, I drafted with you a ton. I remember, I mean, I don't remember this specific team, but there you go. Allen, Goff, CMC, Cook, Montgomery, Benson, Justice Hill, Jordan James, Shipley chasing, St. Brown, Pickens, Shakir, Shaheed. No rookies, brother. You don't believe in rookies, man? I bet I probably took all the rookies. I probably in our big board, I probably took all the rookies. No, can't do Daniel Jones over Hurts. Can't do that. A little bit too fancy. Yeah, I guess the thing is I just think there's such massive downside for the Bengals offense. Like obviously the Jamar Chase ceiling projection is insanely good, but I just have a really hard time. I mean, because I'm watching Jake Browning play. This dude is terrible. And I mean, I don't know. It's unfair kind of to Jake Browning. Like, what I expect him to be as good as Joe Burrow. They don't put Joe Burrow in that good of a position to succeed either. I agree with this. Really, really good setup for just like a totally random Sam Laporta explosion. All right, folks, you're about to see a master at work. Not really a master, but I do like this little stack here. We're going to take Cortland Sutton, and then we are going to take Bo Nicholas. And I actually think you can take Troy Franklin as well. Troy Franklin will get the easier corner matchup. Sutton gets Quinyon Mitchell, but Franklin gets Adoree Jackson, which is just a lot easier of a spot. Did Knicks get drafted? But I wasn't even paying attention. I wasn't even paying attention. Bo Nix went the pick before. So I guess let's do. Who's a good? You know what? I haven't taken Jackson Dart naked at all yet. So there you go. Little J Dart. Any opinion on Chuba workload? Well, Chuba Hubbard is gonna miss this week. GM UC. Is that not how you say it? Adoree Jackson? Adoree? Adoree? Oh, yeah. Yeah. JJ did get canceled. I am hiring. My budget is very low. My budget is lower than what you're used to, JJ, sadly. Adoree. Adoree? Adoree. Adora? Come on, guys. Adoree? I don't know. It's fine. I do pay in site credits. I don't know. I'm sure someone has won a battle royale in a single bullet. Right? There's got to be someone who has won Adoree. Adoree. I mean, how many times in my life will I ever have to say that guy's name? Did you see the interview about Yes. Yeah, we all know David Montgomery scoring a touchdown this week. Let's take a short break to go do Boostober. Short pick'em break. We'll do a Boostober. Let's do David Montgomery. We're going to take David Montgomery to score a rushing or receiving touchdown. We're going to take Jake Browning to throw an interception. Oh, that's a horrible multiplier. All right, we are going to take. Who are we going to take? Let's take Tyler Warren, higher receptions. Small little Boostober break. Oh, they're not even giving us receptions on Tyler Warren. Defensive. And I'm not going to say it. All right, the people need the elevator music. All right. Hey, good. You were right. I was wrong. Jaguars were a lot better than the 49ers on Sunday. You were right. I was wrong. All right, we are going to go to the Dallas-New York Jets game. We're going to take Justin Fields to score a rushing touchdown, and we're going to take Alvin Kamara higher than 78.5 scrimmage yards. Little bit of Boostober action. Of course, a reminder to all you guys that, yeah, it does something about turning the music on always just immediately makes my mic go underwater. I don't know. Scattaboo gave up some work to Devin Singletary last week, but not very much. Boostober. Reminder, if any of you guys are somehow not signed up for Underdog Fantasy, really hard to imagine you're one of the 246 people watching the stream and you are not signed up for Underdog. But if you're not, promo code Davis will get you a little bit of Boostober action for the next 3 days. Every DFS pick'em entry gets you a 30% boost. All right, what do we think? Let's do a dog bowl. And if I swear to God, if Nez is in this, I'm gonna send him the StreamYard link and see if he wants to come on. What do we think the odds are that Nez will be in this? Okay. Dog bowl time. Let's see if we can get a winner. Yes, it is very common. It's definitely a StreamYard thing. I watch and listen religiously and do not draft on Underdog. Well, you're a great man. You're a great man, Minetto. All right, we have got... Oh, this fucking loser Easy is in here. This guy. This absolute bum hunter. Just two bum hunters in here. We've got Easy and Patrick Barnes YouTube, the most bum hunting dudes who've ever existed. Yes, sir. This is a dog bowl. Turned Amarian Hampton into AJ Brown and Jamar. Would I flip Jamar for CD? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Sean Tucker is earning some people tickets to Kansas City. All right. Well, I have not done a dog bowl yet. I haven't done a dog bowl since Tuesday, and it's Thursday. So the 12-man ADPs are probably different. So it'll be time for me to learn what's going on. Patrick Barnes YouTube does not have an active YouTube. He has an old YouTube channel that has 400,000 subscribers though. Oh, I have the get $100 for $5 code. I have the same one as Flock. If you use promo code Davis on Underdog, right? Oh, I guess I should update my banner. But yeah, if you play $5 on Underdog right now, you will get $100 on Underdog using promo code Davis. I knocked out one of the Patrick Barnes YouTube's elims in week 3. Well, we got to fight the good fight against him. He was at the last dog bowl, and he told Pete that he doesn't actually bum hunt me. He just happens to be drafting at that time. Yeah, you have to be a new user for promo code Davis. Maybe someday. You know who I'm not going to take? I'm definitely not taking Derrick Henry in the dog bowl. Yeah, that code is for drafts or for pick'ems anywhere though. But yeah, code Davis, play 5, get 100. Ooh, VV is driving to Wichita for the weekend. So I grew up not that far. Oh, all right. I'm gonna do this for a dog bowl seat. I've not tried this permutation of players yet. It's probably gonna be pretty bad, but the thing about Wichita is that when I was growing up, VV, Wichita used to be like a cool place to go. I went to Wichita about maybe a year ago, and everything I remembered about Wichita when I was a kid was totally changed. It used to be a big industrial city, and obviously industrial stuff is way different in the United States now. But the Sedgwick County Zoo in Wichita, Kansas is one of the coolest zoos you can go to. That's all I've got for you that I know is still there. Josh Reynolds is going to steal a TD from Garrett Wilson. Well, if that happens, I will not be winning the dog bowl with this seat. And my running backs are going to be dog water on this team, but maybe it'll be okay. Have I ever been to Medicine Lodge? I have not. Both my skeleton keys are broken. Yep, Benson, Chuba, tough scene. It's that time of year, man. Just got offered Olave for Lad. I want Lad over Olave. Lad over Olave for me. Got offered a 2026 second for Woody Marks. I'd rather have Woody Marks. Hot take? I feel like I'm gonna try and swap to as much probably Rashad. Well, I'm gonna rank David Montgomery the highest in my swaps. What's gonna happen is I'm probably gonna get a lot of Rashad White. I wonder if it might make the most sense. I'm curious your guys' thought on this of trying to swap for the guy who's going to be the least owned. I feel like Rico Dowdle will be far and away the lowest owned of the injury replacement running backs. Oh, well, yeah, if you're tanking, always trade away the running back in Dynasty, of course. Okay. Where am I at running back here? Like, what is available? Hubbard, who's a swap. Rashad White, who might be a backup. Chase Brown is totally unclickable. All right, I've got a really. You guys ready for a puker? I've got a puker for you guys. How about taking Rico Dowdle ahead of the swaps and just being totally dead if he plays? I'm in a banned underdog state. What are the rules permission like? If I drive to a legal state? Yes. Yeah. You could do whatever you want. You can enter into like so Austin, if you want to enter into slow drafts, like you can go drive over to whatever, like for example, I could drive over to Illinois and then do a bunch of slows. You can sweat and do all that stuff at home. I like Gibbs more than A-Chain just because I'm so bullish on the Lions this week. Good question for you guys. If you knew you were getting at least one guaranteed touchdown with a guy in the 6th round, how often do you take him? My sense is I think you want to take him 100%. That is my sense. I'm going to take Ken Walker here. I think you literally do 100%. There's no Panthers practice report, but Dave Canales said this morning that Chuba Hubbard left last Saturday worse off than he started it. That was the direct quote. Yeah, if it's a tight end, 100%, I agree. Yeah, if it's a tight end, you're just jamming it. Yeah, I also know a guy who does this, who literally just gets a hotel and does best ball weekend right when the season gets close. All right, I kind of want to take JMO. I also oh God, I have dude, I have such a okay, I'm gonna take JMO. I have such a gross running. You guys are gonna be so mad at me. Harold Fannin or Theo Johnson. I think I'm going Fannin bet. ETR is pretty low on Ken Walker this week. Well, that makes sense from a raw projections perspective. How do you even deal with that? Yes, I'm very excited to watch everyone in America watch Mac Jones try and throw to 3 guys who have Super Bowl rings, because of Patrick Mahomes. Adore. People are saying I'm not even getting it close. Sad. Maybe someday I'll learn. Okay. So Pollard goes. So that was my last backstop. It looks like a lot of people are going 3 tight ends this week. Are you guys thinking 3 tight end is kind of the move this week? I hate it. Or not 3 tight end, sorry, 3 wide receiver. I never do this. Easy had made a good point in the Slappy Central Discord, which is that, of course, obviously so many people are now researching and know the masterclass. So they're all hip to running backs, like basically like people are doing 3 wide receiver even less, which I think is kind of interesting. Obviously, taking the masterclass and then just like blindly repeating what happened last year is probably bad. Although, I mean, passing offenses are even worse this year. Passing yardage and passing efficiency is down even further in 2025 than it was in 2024. So running backs theoretically have an even larger edge versus the field than they did last year. Any new data on having 3 wide receivers in BR this year? The winners haven't been, but also people don't really draft them. Well, I'll show you why people don't draft them. It's gonna be very clear why people are not drafting 3 wide receiver teams. Look at the fucking discrepancy between running back point scoring and 0.5 PPR. So here's running backs. You've got, so over 15 points per game, you've got 10 guys. Then you've got even other huge spike week guys like Judkins, Hampton, Gene T, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Look at the wide receivers. So you have the 2 guys who are nuts, Puka and St. Brown. Then look at all these shitters. There are only, and one of them's Trey Tucker. So basically there are 8 real wide receivers who have scored fantasy points. People are not drafting wide receivers because wide receivers never get any points. Do we have a stat on running back touchdowns? No, I can run this filter on StatHead though. What do we think? Let me I'll run this filter on StatHead. But what do we think the discrepancy between running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends will be? I'll run player season finder, and I'll just run by touchdowns. So I'll go descending, and I'll go just overall scoring plays. Well, let me finish this draft first. I don't want to auto draft a dog bowl. Click. Well, 0 running back in best ball is a big 0 running back was the only way to get Puka and St. Brown together. You know? Yeah, I mean running backs, yes. I'm just gonna search for total touchdowns. And I'm gonna do it by positional group in 2025. My guess is that running backs will have scored. I'm gonna guess running backs will have scored 15 more touchdowns than wide receivers. That could be way off. I have no idea, but that is just my first guess. The freaking DeMercado, disgusting. Fuck. All right, I told you guys I was gonna do something that's gonna make you puke. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, undrafted, 71.8 ADP in 12 mans. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt in a gross 3-way timeshare. But he's in all the made up fantasy football stats, Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt is first. Like all the made up efficiency numbers, it's all JCM. Where were you when Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt delivered me $10,000 and a trip to Kansas City? I kind of want to take Theo Johnson. I kind of want to take Mason Taylor. Dallas Goedert is like clearly the play here because we're going to take Dallas Goedert. And if I got to swap a tight end, whatever. Justin Fields, Ken Walker, Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, and Dallas Goedert. That's the sound of a single seal. Still clapping for Bill. Easy to draft Ja'Cory Krusky-Merritt on site credits. Okay. Everyone put your guesses in right now. I'm gonna go run the filter for touchdowns in 2025. All right. These are running backs descending by touchdowns. Running backs have scored. I'm going to have to add all this shit up. Oh, that's so tilting. It's not going to give me a cumulative column. Maybe there's a better way to search this. Well, all right. So I can at least say this. 56 players, 56 running backs. I'm not doing that. Okay. All right, guys, fine. Well, no, it's actually harder than you think to do this because the way... All right, I'll do it. All right, here you go, guys. I'm going to see if this even works because it doesn't always work on Google Sheets the way that PFR does their sheets. But I will do it because I like you guys. All right, blank spreadsheet. Here you go. Is that everyone? That didn't even copy right. Oh, yeah, it did. All right, here you go. Equals sum. I'm not even 100% sure if this copied right, but I think it did. Nope, that's wrong. Equals sum. This is so tilting right now. I'm telling you guys, when you export it to CSV, it doesn't really work like that. The way that the export data function works. Get tape, it does this. And it does not always work in Google Sheets. It's 50-50 if it even works. I know this from trying to use this in ChatGPT. Every bill drafter should be deported. Well, I don't even disagree with you. I'd like to deport myself. Paste special, conditional formatting, values only. No. See, this is why I didn't want to do this. This is why I knew I didn't want to do this, and you guys made me do this. I knew what I was doing. This is not what I tune in for. I didn't want to do this. You guys made me do this. It's not good content. It's not good content, Chip. I came in 15th last week in the Dog Bowl. And drafted JCM for the bit. Safe enough if I took Worthy in 6th. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, if I wanted to start a ChatGPT project right now, I could do it. I for one am learning nothing. Although I will do this. Because now I am legitimately curious. It's actually, I think it might be closer. It might be closer than I imagined. Because 56. Yes, but you can't import I'm telling you guys, the way that StatHead works, it doesn't, you can't do, when you say get it as a table, it doesn't download, it just gives it to you as the text file. It doesn't give you a file to use. It literally gives you the comma separated values. Yeah, I think Tua A-Chain is viable. It had the running back receiving touchdowns. My guess is that this is closer actually than I thought, because so 75 players have a receiving touchdown, 75 wide receivers have a touchdown, and 56 running backs have a touchdown, period. I don't have Excel. I do everything in Google Sheets, and I know from I've used Pro Football Reference so many times in my life that the way that their formatting works is a little tricky. It's not a little tricky. It just, I know, so I've done some stuff in ChatGPT with their data, and it takes me like 10 minutes. It takes me like 10 minutes to get it where I want it to go. Do you guys use Excel instead of Google Sheets? I am Google Sheets only. I only ever use Google Sheets. Yeah, I could have done that. I should have, didn't. Wow. Wide receivers have 122 receiving touchdowns. Oh, I have, you know what's funny, Jordan? Is I have Open Office. Do you know the only thing I do with Open Office? The only thing I do with Open Office is showdown lineups. Google Sheets. I don't believe you use Excel or Sheets. I definitely don't use it the way that you guys do. That is for certain. I use the stuff that I use Google Sheets for is like organizational stuff or to share something. I'm not out here. I'm not out here you know, creating formulas. And I'm, you know, I'm comfortable in who I am. I'm comfortable with what I'm able to do with Google Sheets. Can use it for rankings. You know, it is what it is. Here you go. I haven't taken A-Chain yet. There's an A-Chain team. Yeah, we were definitely wrong. Mr. Dabbles, you should be added in automatically into the Discord if you're a YouTube member. Sometimes it doesn't port you in automatically, and you need to do a relink. I've also been told that it works better on your desktop. But basically, as long as your YouTube and your Discord are linked, you'll be added in. I believe you that Claude might be better, but I have worked. I've gotten enough done with ChatGPT that I know what ChatGPT is bad at, and so I can correct it. I would have to start all over at that process with Claude. Imagine calling State Farm to get a claim adjusted, and Davis just answers the phone saying, "Yeah, man, Google Sheets just ain't working." I want it to be clear that if I didn't have 900 tabs open and I wasn't live streaming and trying to talk while I was doing it, I could have very easily done that in Google Sheets. That's very easy to do. I've worked with a lot of data from Pro Football Reference before. But I told you guys as I was going into it that I knew that was going to be chaotic. And I was right. Dabbles, if you can't get it, just add me as a friend on Discord and I will manually add you. I disagree with this ranking too. I think that George Pickens should be higher. Pickens, one of my favorite selections of the week. Easy to pay the Office sub for Excel spreadsheets on site credit. Do I want to do a Tyler Warren? I'm worried about having like something you realize when you do a lot of drafts is your exposures to the elite tight ends can get out of control pretty quickly. So you kind of have to like manually remind yourself to not go too crazy on the tight ends. Copy the CSV data at the bottom of PFR, open a text file, paste it, save the file as CSV. You know what? This is very good from MO929Z because this is what I had forgotten this, but this does work. So there you go. If you guys are ever in the position that I was in and you cannot figure out how to get the CSVs to work from Pro Football Reference, this is what you have to do. I do this. I wish you would have reminded me of this 5 minutes ago because then I could have just done that myself. No, Warren can't go ahead of McBride, but I do think you want to have both of them. No, I'm glad you reminded me of that because I clearly had forgotten. I was sitting there staring at that sheet feeling like an idiot. Pickens. All right, let's do a Michael Pittman Jr. Michael Pittman Jr., I don't know. I'm going to guess Michael Pittman Jr., do we think he is top 15 in utilization rate amongst wide receivers? I wonder. Not quite. Let's get the whole page. Michael Pittman Jr. amongst wide receivers, the same utilization rate as CeeDee Lamb, higher than Debo, higher than BTJ, higher than Wandale, higher than Metcalf. Pretty good, Michael Pittman Jr. And we'll take Skelly Key cover boy Daniel Jones. Lamar out this week and next week. Not good. All right. I see the friend request from you fellas. I will both add you guys in right now to the Slappy Central. No, don't come crying to me. If you get your feelings hurt in the old Slappy Central Discord. How common do you think a Gibbs Wilson, Pickens field start, very common. Very and more common than you can imagine. Warren has outscored McBride in 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, I mean, he's been very good up until this point. Matt says I have 10 of those starts. I guess I would be more on the sell side of Jalen Waddle breakout hype. All right. These are all fairly common permutations, but I don't, you know what? I am going to take Laporta. I probably can't really afford to because these are all really common. You guys probably just watched me do a duped team right there. That's sad. Oh, I think that this is probably true. This will be a high involvement game for Trey McBride. I got a JT, JSN, McBride, Igbuka. Yeah, I don't feel that great about Igbuka this week. All right, I gotta rinse the taste out of my mouth of that one right there. What is the projection gap between Dimes and Hurts? I bet it's not that wide. These are the only projections I've got pulled up right now. I told Adam and Utica that this Kyler Murray projection is terrible, but we'll see. Hurts 9.23, Daniel Jones 9.15. Would I trade away Dimes for a 1 and a 3? Absolutely. Yeah, I would do that. I would do that right now. No DeMercado for me. No. Absolutely zero DeMercado. I use Excel and Sheets for my job. I hate Sheets. It is ugly. It is definitely ugly. ETR has Kyler a hair less than Fields. Yeah. So the ETR stuff, if you're gonna draft BRs, like you got to know what the ETR projections are because that's what the field is drafting off of. I mean, I definitely, if you said right now, is Saquon Barkley a buy or a sell? I would say sell. But like, I'm not saying you sell him for anyone. Like you don't trade him away for Josh Downs, you know. By the way, have any of you guys got the new Apple iOS? It's like the worst thing imaginable. Horrible. The liquid glass, it's unusable. All right. Achan. I mean, let's do Achan Fields. I do not think I've got any combinations of that yet. Yeah, I got the 16 and it just updated. But man, no, it's horrible, dude. I don't really know who approved this. They'll fix it. Okay, here we go. 115 total rushing touchdowns, 27 by quarterbacks, 81 by running backs. In between running back, wide receiver, tight end, there's been 87. Makes sense. iPhone S. Isn't that the like colory one? The only good part of Google Sheets is to download the Excel button. All All right, we're gonna take Warren, and we're just gonna get the top of every position, and we're gonna double scroll a wide receiver. I know you did, Swish. I'm commending everyone's individual contributions to the conversation. I think Genty is under projected, is my opinion. 14 points? Get the fuck out of here. Ashton Genty should project better than Javonte. I think the Genty projections are too low. Every update makes my phone catch fire if I listen to a podcast. Seven-point dogs, no Colton Miller. That ain't convincing to me, brother. Yeah, sure. We'll do a little Debo here. Man, Debo is like all the way back. Yeah, not only is it an insanely good spot for David Montgomery, but he also has the narrative. I knew it was Liam's birthday. I've not wished him a happy birthday. Everyone go tell Liam happy birthday. I'm going to say happy birthday, Chesley. I'm wishing you 70% routes for Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, I get why the projections are saying what they're saying, but I'm saying that I know ball. You know what? I have very little Javonte here. So let's do Javonte, and let's find a satisfactory scroll. Man, T. Higgins, undrafted. No Darius Slayton. Could you take Darius Slayton in the 12-mans, maybe? All right, we're going to take Chris Godwin, one of our skeleton keys. Justin Fields, Devin Achane, Javonte Williams, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, and Tyler Warren. Yeah, Higgins goes undrafted in the DBQs. Yeah, I'm big in on the lad bounce back. All right, Fields, Achane, Javonte, Deebo, Godwin, and Tyler Warren. That Godwin ADP is going to rise a little bit, but let's keep firing. Are you saying Javonte should be a scroll, or you're saying Javonte should be a starter? No, you're saying Javonte should be like a round 2 guy. I don't even think we know for a fact that Bucky is out. We are all just guessing. I mean, you know, we're getting pretty hype. We're getting pretty hype. In fact, to the point that look at this capitulation from Michael Leone. Wasn't in on Brashard Smith over the offseason, but with the way the KC backfield is playing out, he's someone it makes sense to roster now. I don't know if it will happen, but when it does, it could be quick. I was too slow on Marks in some leagues, assuming I'd be able to make a pickup in a future week. The drum beat. Happy birthday to Liam. 1,297 yards and 9 touchdowns to go for Keon. You love to see it. Alpha play, Brashard Smith. Well, Nick, it's interesting you would ask if Jaden Blue is still alive, because I feel like we are going to get some very conclusive evidence in terms of how alive Jaden Blue is, because if Jaden Blue is a healthy scratch this week with Miles Sanders out, let me tell you, Tony, you were asking the wrong person, because the correct answer is to drop Isaiah Bond, but I would absolutely drop Christian Kirk for Brashard Smith. But again, you were asking the wrong person. You should ask someone else. You should ask a more logical person. I disagree with the projections on this Amari and Hampton stuff. This is so funny. Jaden Blue is a great locker room presence for all the bad drafters. I mean, come on. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, sure, whatever. We'll take. I hate Saquon Barkley, man, but we're gonna do it. Saquon Barkley has just led to so many individual uncompetent or uncomfortable moments in my life. I don't really like Darnold this week, but he's fine. The Browns having a rookie quarterback, running back, wide receiver 2, and tight end. It is a great bit. And they're going to trade David Njoku away too, probably. Yeah, Blue is just in the locker room hyping up Puka, St. Brown, and Cook with the good vibe zeros. I agree, man. I agree. Blue is he's been a good soldier, man. He's helping us out. Okay. You know, it's funny that on the desktop, because when you're drafting these on your phone, it removes the positions you have full. And sometimes, but it doesn't on desktop. So you're looking at it and you're like, oh shit, I could take Breece. Oh wait, no, you can't take Breece Hall because you already drafted Saquon Barkley, who's gonna get outscored. All right, I actually do not think I've done any permutations of the. Oh, I was about to take AJ Brown, but I'm not going to now. We're gonna do Jameson Williams, and then we're gonna take Sam Laporta. Yeah, and Tyler Higbee is injured as well, Joey. Tyler Higbee not playing tonight. Is Kenneth Walker plus Chris Olave an overpay for Nico Collins? No, that feels fair to me. All right, we'll take Jared Goff, and then we're gonna take Samuel Laporta, and then we'll figure it out. Pretty bad start to the year for Jaden drafters. Blue, Daniels, Reed, Higgins. Hey, Higgins scored a touchdown last week, so shout out to him for that. I think Mr. Cajun, I think everyone thinks they're both gonna have really good games against the Bengals. How many spike weeks before Kitchen's group chat tries to claim Jaden back the blue? It's a good question, and it's a good name, and it's an awful good bit. Getting a lot of questions on the videos about Lad or Olave. I mean, I just would definitely be. Do you guys even think that's close? I like absolutely think it's Lad over Olave. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I definitely think it's Lad over Olave. I completely agree with this. It's picking the correct two of St. Brown, JMO, Gibbs, Montgomery with Goff. We will. You know what? We will. I actually got ahead of my work today. I already did the patreon.com/DavisMatic showdown stuff. So all I have to do for the rest of the day is get my week 5 rankings done. And it's actually easier if I wait for Thursday practice reports to come out before I do my rankings. So, we don't even. we can stream for a while, and we can cook up some more Boostobers. Are we sliding Kyron to 100 yards tonight? Honest to God, I would rather slide Blake Corum. I think a really fun angle tonight is sliding Blake Corum like crazy high. I love the concept of sliding Blake Corum to like 59.5 yards or something. Or Blake Corum touchdown. I also saw that you can do, they just instituted this, you can do 2 picks of the same guy. So you can take Blake Corum for 70 yards and a touchdown. I've not implemented that yet. Oh, Laporta went. Okay. Laporta went. You know what? Let's do a Marvin Harrison. Jared Goff, Amarian Hampton, Saquon Barkley, Jameson Williams, Marvin Harrison. Also, something is going wrong inside my StreamYard, and I'm not able to redirect to thinking, oh, it's because I haven't published it yet. The thinking about DFS. I believe you only can get the Boostobers in the app, but maybe that's not true. Someone commented that they also were not able to get the Boostober. Yeah, Juwan Johnson. I'm gonna have an absolute bag full of Juwan Johnson. Isn't he just like literally one of the best picks of the whole slate? Feels like he probably is. Let Guerrero loose. Yes, it was you, Clipper Nation. And I don't know why you guys wouldn't get the boosts, because I assume it's in all areas where pick'ems are. I really don't know though. It seems very strange to me that the boost would not be there, but I don't know. What can I tell you? The boosts are good. We're happy to be there for Boostober. I've won a good amount on Boost recently. #HowRich. Hope I'm not one of the not available to all players. Praying for you. Nick has the boost and can't even use them in NJ. All right. Well, let's keep grinding a little bit, and then we will get down and we will celebrate Boostober. Diesel Legend hasn't got a pick'em boost from UD in months. Maybe it's only eligible to people who deposited with promo code Davis, man. I mean, would serve all non-code Davis depositors right. You know what I'm saying? Just traded Marvin Harrison Jr. for AJ Brown. By the way, Adam just messaged me and he showed that our the Run the Sims Kyler Murray projection is not really that out of line. So I think I don't know if I can elevate Kyler Murray to skeleton key level, but I think Kyler is a better play than I was letting on. I mean, I hope you guys also they said it's not available to all users, so probably, well, some of us fire pick'ems indiscriminately. But I think I'm going to add in some Kyler McBride, some Kyler Marvin Harrison, maybe even some naked Kyler. People are saying it's the year of the naked quarterback on Underdog Fantasy. How about a naked Mahomes team winning last week? Did not think. There you go. ETR has him for 20 as well. So I was wrong. I know that Adam is not watching because he doesn't play these games, but I'm apologizing to him. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep taking Amari and Hampton ahead of average draft position, or at average draft position. Oh, sorry. I would rather have AJ Brown than Marvin Harrison Jr., but that might be a minority opinion. All right, I just said I was going to start taking Trey McBride. There we go. There's a little T McBride action. What side do I like more? Trevion, Rashee Rice, guaranteed. Any trade that gets you Rashee Rice, we're doing. Seems pretty clear Jaden Daniels is playing this week. Is it not weird he's quarterback 5? Well, it is, but we do. You got to remember, Gehrig, that we actually do have a sample of Jaden Daniels playing injured, and it was not great. We had a sample of Jaden Daniels last year playing with an injury, and he scored like 5.5 fewer fantasy points per game. By the way, I just realized I need to submit. I'll do it later. I have an MLB DFS lineup that is not submitted. We're going to take Breece Hall with Amari and Hampton. Going to hammer that projection. I'm just doing always what I do in Showdown. I just enter 150 lineups in the mini max on DraftKings, and then I fiddle around with the stuff on Run the Sims, and then I run the Sims, and then I play the, well, not the best plays, but I play the best lineups. Okay. All right, you got me. Here's one Jamar Chase. Can Jamar Chase have one good game? Imagine if 4th round Jamar Chase goes nuke. Yes. Just spell check higher. 1.5 receptions. Just joined the chat, but not gonna lie, I was genuinely happy when I saw one of your teams win 500 a week ago or so. GM to you, hybrid dad. It could be a good Scatterboo week. I don't know. The thing with playing with Dart is not going to check the ball down to him. Jackson Dart, instead of checking it down, Jackson Dart is going to run, which I think he should do. But okay, and then we're going to take Kyler. And then we need to take another wide receiver. Man, I wish there was a good way to look at your DraftKings best ball teams, but it's just very difficult to do. Have I entered any of the Pocket Cup qualifiers on DK? I have not. Yeah, I'm definitely drafting the Raiders passing game. Is Sutton worth a scroll? Yeah, I think so. I don't think Dart is a skeleton key this week. I think he's good. I definitely don't think the Dart is at skeleton key levels though. Good. Yeah, Breece is gonna smash this week. I feel relatively confident. Has DK released any data since July? That I also don't know. All right, we're gonna take Kyler Murray, and then we need really. Ooh, I mean, we could do a double scroller here. Take Chris Olave. Yeah, Chris Olave is a good PPR scam. Imagine if Chris Olave scored a touchdown. I guess he did score a touchdown last week, but did not do any PPR scamming. When I looked this morning, they didn't have anything for Sky Moore. Odds of Chuba missing sounds pretty high, actually. I would say it sounded higher than I thought. So whatever you're gonna do with that, well, I guess it's pretty self-evident what you do with that, which is draft Rico Dowdle, I guess. I'm adding his under longest reception. Yeah, he did also throw a pick. They said, what did Canales said, we're gonna see some Jimmy Horn Jr. this week. Man, we're making good time today, boys. We're grinding. A good bit some week, and I don't know if I'll ever actually do this, but a good bit would be to stream all 150 BRs some week. Like streaming all 150 BBMs, but streaming, I mean, it might be a bit much, but it is a funny idea. I wonder how much time would that take? I guess it would take, if each draft takes 10 minutes, so 10 minutes, so you can do 6 in an hour. So 6 in an hour, so 150 divided by 6. So God, that would be a lot of time. That would be a lot of time. That'd be like 25 hours ish. Would that be the least watched content of all time? It would be a very funny title. Yeah. Oh, there definitely would be ways to do it quicker. Yeah. And you could also like I could just have it so that my team was on, like I would do auto draft. I'd click the plane and then just click the button. Yeah, probably could multi-table. Scattaboo and Kittle. Well, so you're just asking Scattaboo versus Waddle. I mean, I'd rather do Scattaboo. It's true. I would be the only one. Maybe I'll think about it for next week. I'm definitely not saying no. So it's an interesting concept. Certainly wouldn't say no. Oh, there we go. Scattaboo, Kittle, or Waddle and Kelsey. Man, I think it's the Scattaboo side still, but I don't know when Kittle is going to be back. Can I stream 150 BRs before my son is born? Definitely Godwin over DeMercado. The range of outcomes for DeMercado is pretty wide. Lot of ways, like DeMercado could immediately be behind Michael Carter. All right, we're gonna George Pickens. Have not gotten that combination of players yet. And then we're gonna do Tyler Warren. No, Davis. Oh. Would be a must watch. I don't know. I actually don't know how interesting it would be. I guess I'm just gonna have to take Daniel Jones on this team. Gonna have to hope that the Colts score 1 billion points. Yeah, Bond is a pretty good FFPC pickup. I agree. Who do I have winning it all? I don't know. Probably the Bills, I guess. The Bills seem like probably the best team. But, I mean, what do I know, bro? Can I draft 150 teams at once? Yeah, if Chuba is out, I would definitely play Rico over Charbonnet. Whoa, have you thought about it? What if Tyler Warren throws a touchdown to Jonathan Taylor? He could. People forget. People forget. He was a converted quarterback. I didn't forget, but people do. Drafting in the delivery room. Don't think that one's going to be allowed. All right. I guess I got to take a Raider. All right, we're going to take Jacoby Myers as the bring back. And then we'll do Daniel Dimes. And then this game will go to triple overtime, even though triple overtime is not allowed because everything has to go to ties now. I agree. I like Teteroy McMillan against the Miami Dolphins a lot more than the projections. Don't know. Yeah, I thought the projections would be a lot more hip there, but they were not at all. He's buried. Dimes, JT Warren, say less. Say less, bro. Great Europa League DFS slate kicking off over on Redacted here shortly. Hope to see you guys in the streets. I gotta be one of the last people still. No one's playing soccer DFS these days, man. It's sad, but it's true. No, it's not bad to have Dimes on this one. No, I would not take Mac Jones. The Mac Jones lineups are going to be so duplicated. Have drafted 100 BRs this week and have 30 JTs. Keep taking him, bro. Me personally, I would definitely not. I would keep hammering. You like, what are you complaining about? You're complaining about getting the highest projected player of the week. That's what it's all about, dude. One of the battles that you have to fight with yourself in playing BRs is it gets boring to draft a billion of the same team. But what that means is that you are just hammering the highest projected combinations. It's so much a game of hammering those combinations. Okay, and we will end this one with David Montgomery, Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, George Pickens, Jacoby Myers, and Tyler Warren. It's something that I struggle with in playing in these games. It's Saturday. I've drafted 250 teams. I have 25 left to go. And I need to make sure to get a Bo Nix, Marvin Mims. And it's like, all right, dude, settle down. You don't actually need a Bo Nix, Marvin Mims. It's really, really not useful. Wow, Nottingham Forest in the Champions League, man. Who would have thought? Not me. No, I do not feel good about the Feyenoord game. Yeah, these are going faster than 10 minutes. Look, man, if my kid, if his first words are not Brashard Smith, it will have meant that I let him down. What did I do? What did I do on Monday night? By the way, that last PTP, the PTP from last week, I was so freaking close to the winning team. Disgusting. And then Romeo Dubs came from the ceiling to score 3 touchdowns. Hateful. Oh yeah, I did need Knicks. It's true. Sometimes you do need Knicks memes. There's always a slate where Knicks and Mims are going to be useful. I actually really like. We're gonna take Devin A-Chain. I really like what Sean Payton did with Marvin Mims, where he tried to make him a real wide receiver, and then he was like, you know what? It's actually a bad idea to make Marvin Mims a real wide receiver. So instead of doing that, I'm just not going to do that. And I am instead going to make Troy Franklin a real wide receiver, and I'm going to use Marvin Mims in the role that he excels in. Marvin Mims is going to lead fantasy football in like fantasy points per touch while like never really playing. And that's totally fine. We are the Mims intelligentsia is totally comfortable with that for our boy. Devin A-Chain and Derrick Henry, Trey McBride. We'll do Trey McBride. You feel every time you take an elite tight end, you're like, all right, this team's pretty good. How high are we sliding every Diggs prop? Should we do Diggs over like 1 billion yards? Diggs over 119. Feels kind of fun. Oh, I wouldn't slide Puka Tua because they're not even really gonna have to play. The Dart rushing prop at 37.5. I mean, it does feel low, but that's also insane for it to feel low because, like, what has Jackson Dart done? You know. Marvin Mims is the Dante Hall of Greg Dortch's. Why has Sam Laporta not been great this year fantasy-wise? Because he's just not as much of a target earner as St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs has gotten so much better. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs really impacts what Laporta can do because if the short area stuff is going to Gibbs. You know what? Shout out to you, Javonte Williams. We'll rope in a little Javonte Williams here. Yeah, I mean, I guess the real answer for Laporta is he just, you know, just a bunch of good players on his team. You got a bunch of good players on your team, it's going to be a lot harder to get the ball. Yeah, the Lions are just a team full of dogs. CMC always gets there, man. CMC always, he's gonna find a way. One thing I know about Christian McCaffrey, he is gonna find a way to get there. He might have like 17 receptions in the first half. In fact, he probably will have like 16 receptions in the first half. I think I really like the Colts in Survivor as well. All right, we're gonna do an AJ Brown. I don't care about no Pat Surtain. I don't care about no PS2. Yeah, CMC is literally the ultimate PPR scam. No one has ever scammed PPRs harder in the history of time. That's true. All right. We're having ourselves a good show, boys. We're enjoying ourselves. I had Colts swap to the Rams. That's totally fine. If you're in Scott Fishbowl, they built a point system to make Travis Hunter fun, but it accidentally made CMC a cheat code. I am in the Scott Fishbowl, and my team is dog water. I did not understand the assignment. All right, we're gonna take Kyler Murray with McBride. That'll be a pretty common permutation. I would actually love someone smarter than me. This would be something that I would like John and Nez and Peter to do in the Underdog DFS Masterclass, or one of you guys who is smarter than me, to run a study on optimal rates of how often a quarterback and pass catcher should be stacked, and when it becomes better to have them separated. Like Kyler actually is with Trey McBride too often, or Trey McBride is with Kyler too often to the point that you don't want to do it. All right, what do I want to do here? Need a wide receiver. Could do Sutton, could do Pittman, could do Keenan. You know what? Big Ranking has given up on Ladd McConkey, but not me. Hey, McBride already has a touchdown on the year, bro. You're bullying him, bro. Yeah, Nerdy probably would have had those optimal rates. Nerdy Tenner's too busy winning 300,000 in Showdown. Kyler Murray, Devin Achane, Javonte Williams, AJ Brown, Ladd McConkey, Trey McBride. Pretty good team. Got offered AJ Brown for Judkins. Man, AJ Brown for Judkins. I mean, my gut instinct is to just say, lock in AJ Brown. But so much of what the Bengals are doing with their offense, or so much of what the Browns are doing with their offense, looks like, I mean, I'm stealing this from Ben Gretsch, but he's just the new Chubb. They are just like, all right, well, this is the best player on our team. If he wins tonight, I'm going to lose it. Yes, stacking Kyler McBride is definitely bad. Please, no one do it. Yeah, it definitely would not be that hard to calculate. You'd have to be doing some, you'd have to be doing observation of optimal of draft rates, because you couldn't just make up what the field is doing and get the right answers. Like if you gave the formula the wrong combinatorial ownership of McBride and Kyler, then you'd get bad teams, or you'd get junk data out from the sim. You alluded to it earlier, but do you foresee a sneaky good game for Quorum tonight? I do. Maybe not even sneaky, but I think 7.5 point spread home against this just totally decimated MASH unit team. Yeah, I do think that will happen. Garbage in, garbage out, brother. And that's why you'll never catch me building a sim, because I am effectively the garbage man. Might be good, but Quorum also might get the the sweat that I have tonight. This is what I did for Pick'em stuff tonight. Kyle Juszczyk higher than 1.5 receptions. Blake Corum higher than 10.5 longest rush. Demarcus Robinson lower than 2.5 receptions. So that's my sweat for the evening. Yes, one of my Elim teams does have Lamar and does not have anyone else at quarterback. So it's pretty cooked. Ooh, D-Rob revenge, dude. Isn't he so mad? Isn't the revenge gonna go crazy? Dude, the revenge. Demarcus Robinson, man. Demarcus Robinson owning me on a national football, on a nationally televised game. All is right with the world. You know, that's really, at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all looking for? The answer is yes. That is indeed what we're all looking for. Yeah, I do have one of these. A Lamar, Caleb, Elam team. Very bad. I think FF Dan K, who's in the Discord, has more than 25 Eliminator teams. All right, I'm going to take George Pickens again with him being offered here. And I'm going to take... no, I'm not going to take Gene T, actually. I'm going to take Breece Hall. Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, George Pickens, dude. It's easy to take Demarcus Robinson unders on site credit. I've got a sick BBM 3-quarterback team with Richardson, Penix, and Lamar. Yeah. How bad does every single time you clicked Anthony Richardson feel? It feels pretty terrible. I honestly have no idea. No idea what's going on in the Dutch Eredivisie right now. I assume RVP is probably doing bad because if he was coaching well, Manchester United would have tried to hire him. I heard Teenage Dirtbag yesterday. I fear the song has been ruined forever now. Sad. I'm just a slappy drafter, baby. With bye weeks and injuries, I might have to start Kendrick Bourne tonight. He could definitely get like 9 points. Right? I mean, that feels pretty easy. Kendrick Bourne, 4 for 40. No sweat. All right, what quarterback do I want to take Dak on this one? I've really not been taking very much Dak. Maybe a naked Kyler team. Posted my Brashard exposure this morning. The song came on automatically. He really is. Brashard is like such a slappy seal pick. Maybe no more slappy seal pick, people are saying. All right. What do we think? You know what? We're going to do a Kyler, Marvin Harrison Jr. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the promised land. First drafted Brashard Smith team was January 31st. Incredible. Imagine a fantasy football team you drafted a calendar year ago wins you a meaningful amount of money. I mean, truly. Oh, Kendrick Bourne is all the way back tonight, brother. Look at here. I'll just give away the goods right now. I'll do a sim run over on Run the Sims. Dude, the trenches. I mean, remember when Woody Marks was like the worst pick on the board in the 160s and we were all making fun of Hayden's ranks because the only reason Woody Marks was ranked that high was that he goes to USC, and then it came all the way back around to Hayden being correct about Woody Marks and that he should have been ranked there the whole time. That's how long we've been doing it. How far into the game do you think CMC plays before Kyle calls it? I don't know. I feel like Shanahan is a very hard guy to read. I also know that just like historically, these games between these NFC West teams, they're so screwy. They're just always like way more competitive than you would think. Wow, Glue Eater in here taking Chris Godwin. Here's the optimal rate for Kendrick Bourne. Look at this. Kendrick Bourne ends up in the winning flex lineup 13.7%. That's actually less than I would thought. Total rate 25%. It's a little bit less than I would have thought. Tight end. We'll go Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz can't possibly be too owned here. We laughed people out of the room who took Woody Marks in the 18th while we were loading up on Will Shipley. Well, not me. Not me. I have a lot more Woody Marks than Will Shipley, but yes. Glue Eater is probably here right now. Glue Eater is probably watching this on Twitch right now. Yeah, I did notice the sims are really high on Sky Moore, but the inputs look pretty fine to me. I mean, is Sky Moore going to be meaningfully behind MVS? Probably not. Is Sky Moore going to be... I mean, maybe Sky Moore is meaningfully behind Luke Farrell. These projections all look about right to me. Oh, no, you're right. He's missing an ownership. There you go, Alex. You're right. He's missing. There's no ownership for him. Yeah. Yep. There you go. You solved it. You figured it out. Got Alex on the case. I'm afraid the Sims have never watched Sky Moore play a game of football. Well, that's probably pretty likely. Let's do the victory formation. Let's do the single entry. Come hop into the old victory formation. Let's get this one out of the way. I don't think that's the optimal own. That's their projected ownership. That's the field projected rate. So that should be fixed. Yeah. Come and hop in this victory formation. Single entry battle royale contest. And I got fourth in this contest last week. Was kind of close to finding a shipper in this contest. Oh, I missed the joke. I missed the joke that he's bad. That's sad. That's sad. Normally I'm a little bit sharper than that. All right, we need 4 for this one. We can go back and look at my team that just about shipped that one because it was pretty good. My sim just spit out Sky's up. Is it broken? Imagine you click run sim and you just got Sky Moore's face. All right. In the victory formation last week, I finished 5th for $400. I was, actually a meaningful amount behind first. First place was Hertz, Hampton, Ginty, Puka, Igbuka, Goddard. I had Mahomes, Bucky, Ginty, St. Brown, Adams, and Tyler Warren. So I was close enough. Could have been better. Could have been worse. I actually was fairly close last time. In a tight end premium league, who would you start in the flex? Travis Hunter, Chig, Tootin, Harvey, or Sharbs. Probably Sharbs and Harvey. Would I trade Michael Carter and Olave for Brees? Yeah, I would do it. I would do it immediately. Yeah, that is a huge win. That is a huge win for you to get Brees for 2 really middling guys. Miles Sanders was not at the media's viewing of practice for the 2nd straight day, becoming increasingly more likely the Cowboys' rookie running back Jaden Blue makes his NFL debut on Sunday. All right, hell yeah. Redraft full PPR. Who wins? Addison and Trevion for Kyron. Slight edge for the Addison Trevion side, but that is really 6 of one, half dozen of the other. That one's super close. Because Trevion has a very similar, like Trevion actually has a really high ceiling, but he's not quite there yet. Addison, you have a really tough matchup for him this week against the Browns, and they're probably not going to they're probably not going to throw that much. And then you have a bye week because they're traveling back from Europe. I would have asked Flock Fantasy, but I don't have $1,000 for a start sit question. I love Flock, man. Flock is the best. Flock actually, Mason sent me a DM yesterday, a helpful business-related DM. Back the blue season, CC David Kitchen. Goodness gracious. Well, maybe not. Maybe we are not going to be able to fill the victory formation. Man, I like actually cannot believe how bad the new iOS is. No, you are mistaken. I definitely do not dislike Mason to any degree. Yeah, I think you may have me confused with someone else, or maybe someone in the chat disliked Mason. I frankly, I mean, let's just be 100% real about it. I'm very jealous of Mason. Mason basically lives my dream, man. He is an independent fantasy football content creator who makes a lot of his own decisions, has his own product. It's true. Mason came on this channel, said that Quentin Johnston was the best pick in fantasy football, and I said, nah, dude. Oh, I mean, I think a lot of people from the Slappy, I think a lot of people from the Slappy side kind of look down their nose at like more casual fantasy football content, which is totally like, I get why people would do that. Cause it's like, for people like us, for us hardcore slappies, you look at like a waiver wire video and you're like, dude, Woody Marks is already owned in my league. This is stupid. Who is this for? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just like, I can just say I'm a huge fan. I think Mason is the best. It's true. It's true. He's winning all worlds in fantasy football. Hand up, I scoffed at him in that episode. See, that's what you get. That's what you get at scoffing for a man. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say weak, but once you get to a certain point of knowledge, you just want something more hardcore. Exactly. This is exactly what it is. It's that there's just like Mason views his job as helping you win your 12-team home league. It's not about people who want to frickin' think about Keandre Lambert-Smith prospect profiles, you know? It's two different, and I'm realizing this with some of my more casual stuff, is that a lot of you guys don't want to watch waiver wire videos either, and that's fine. Yeah, also, maybe Mason just knows better because we were drafting fucking Jack Bash. I mean, we can look it up. It's a lot. I think his underdog username, is it Flock Fantasy or Fantasy Flock? Fantasy Flock. Advancing 20%. Quentin Johnston. He drafted 29 Quentin Johnston teams. This is Flock's best team. Herbert, Lawrence, Darnold, Bijan, JT. Holy shit, this is an absolute cook. Oh my God, look at this. Every pick is a smash. Maybe not Judy. I mean, look at this team. Oh, and Ingram is a 0. I would buy this team for $100. This is that's a $100 team for sure. All right, guys, can we fill the victory formation? I'm gonna pee, and you guys fill the victory formation. You want to scroll the F down for Keandre Lambert-Smith?
Oh my fucking God.
I'm about it. I'm about it.
This is too good.
Someone slap the Keandre Lambert-Smith button. The first KLS reception, I was like, wow, he is the greatest wide receiver of all time. Is the 9th round too early for KLS? People are asking.
4.37 40, played at Auburn. This is Darius Slayton vibes.
My thesis is at least not that he is Jerry Rice's kid. My thesis is at least he's not Jerry Rice's kid. This is Darius Slayton vibes. Turns out we drafted the wide receiver 6. The old wide receiver 6 on the Los Angeles Chargers. Does he have a reception yet? I believe he has a target. I don't think he has a reception. Keandre Lambert-Smith, PFR. Keandre Lambert-Smith has 2 kick returns. I think he does have 1 target in the passing game. He's got 2 kick returns. He was active in week 4. So shout out to him for being active. Devin A-Chain. Yeah, I will happily select Devin A-Chain in the victory. Who did we get in here? We got Gang Staffy, Cole Anderson, DJ Firmsherm 16, Buddy Man, and Aaron Mercer 93. Good luck, fellas. May the best man win. Fading QJ to bet on KLS. First Rice, now KLS. What shitty wide receiver from the Chargers am I going to draft next year? Would you believe me if I told you Jalen Hurts has at least 9 rush attempts in every game so far? I would. Yeah, I would easily believe you. That feels very evident in the way that they've played their games. Oh, Nico Collins at the turn, huh? Wow, a Devin A-Chain JSN start to my victory formation. Send me the $1,000 right now. I wonder if the brothers are still live right now. because I kind of wanted John to come on and draft a best puck with me, but I have no concept of how viable that is. Trey Harris flop leg season. I know Jake Vinegar wants it to happen. Oh, this is so dark. Yeah, who was here's a good question. Who was a worse pick in fantasy football? Ladd McConkey? Okay, we got to look up advance rate. What do we think the advance rate is between Ladd McConkey and Keandre Lambert-Smith? That we're going to look that up after this victory formation. All right, A-Chain, JSN. I'm happy to take Tyler Warren. Need to think about, I kind of want to take Justin Fields too. Same advance rate? I don't know, brother. Ladd's advance rate is not going to be good. Okay, I'm not going to take Breece Hall. I'm going to take Justin Fields. I've got a plan for this team. I don't know if it's going to work, but I've got a plan for it. If Keenan resigns next year, he probably will, right? He's still good. He's still good. It's still good. All right, and then I'm not going to take Jake Ferguson, actually. Got a better plan. I'm going to take David Montgomery over Ashton Jeanty. They're crying and rending their garments in the street. No, you can't do it. He's projected so bad. AJB and Ladd are going to have like the same advance rate. All right. Keandre Lambert-Smith. Right now in Best Ball Mania, Keandre Lambert-Smith has a 13.3% advance rate and is on the 121st overall highest scoring fantasy team. Ladd McConkey, 9.4% advance rate. Hey, there we go. Tom likes the waiver wire videos. Shout out to Tom. Fading Keenan at the bottom of Reno and the top of Reno are not working out well. KLS, wow, you got that deep waiver wire lore. You can check that on bbmdb.app if you want to check out any of the Best Ball Mania data. I'm a big fan of the work that Patrick Donovan does over there. Would encourage you guys to tip him a cup of coffee. Also, I did just realize I missed this at the very beginning of the stream. Ben Weaver gifted 10 memberships, and I would like to give him a firm salute. Thank you, Ben. You're a good man. Do I want Debo? I don't. Well, I guess I'm going to get him because I ran out of time. I wanted Marvin Harrison Jr., but my fingers were not quick enough to get there. That's fine. A little birdie told me that Trey Harris is on the top scoring team in Best Ball Mania. I said if a 33-year-old wide receiver doesn't sign by day one of training camp, 0% exposure. I bet the Brian Thomas rate is really bad, but we're going to find out. Because you were taking Brian Thomas over Puka. You were taking Brian Thomas over St. Brown. It's gonna be really bad. And then, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna take two lines. I'm gonna take Laporta too. Justin Fields, Devin A-Chain, David Montgomery, JSN, Debo, and Samuel Laporta. Brian Thomas. Oh, his junior's not there in the database. Interesting. The Brian Thomas Jr. advance rate is 6%. Oof. Brian Thomas Jr. Tough. All right, let's check Keandre Lambert-Smith. Oh, this will be really funny. Okay, this is a great example I'm about to teach you guys a lesson in profiling your opponents. I'm going to show you guys something very funny. All right, so Keandre Lambert-Smith. Let's see how many total teams there are. There are 9,136 Keandre Lambert-Smith teams. And we're going to check Keandre Lambert-Smith with Jaden Blue. There are 1,000 Jaden Blue. By the way, how many of these have? How many of these are Davis Smith? There you go. That's what I thought. I knew I'd be one of those. So there are 1,000 Jaden Blue and Keandre Lambert-Smith. Javonte Williams and Jaden Blue. There's going to be half as many. It's 563, almost exactly half. The Keandre Lambert-Smith drafter is not drafting Javonte Williams. Now, on the contrary, Quentin Johnston, we'll see how many QJ teams there are. There are almost 100%, so 55,416 Quentin Johnston teams. With Jaden Blue, yes, slappy slap. There are 3,292 Quentin Johnston and Jaden Blue teams. Quentin Johnston and Javonte Williams, 4,431. So not as dramatic of a split there as you would think, but still pretty big. Let's go do a Boostober. Get rid of all of these. We're gonna do a Boostober for the weekend. Gonna do a little sliding. More Boostober. Boostober is a great name. Help. Are my Bengals bags dead? Yeah, they're dead, man. I'm Michael, I'm sorry. I had to do this with the Chiefs last year, but they're dead. Apply to entry. Okay. Now, I think on some of the boosts, you can't do the slide. So let's see. The first thing I want to do is see what's available for Isaiah Bond. I'd like to get, let's see if it'll let me. I'd like to get Isaiah Bond to 44.5 receiving yards. Bang. We got that in. Okay. Isaiah Bond. I would like to go Denver and Philadelphia. And I would like to take Evan Ingram. Okay, you can't move him. I wonder what's the lowest degree I can slide him to. Yeah, doesn't even really feel worth it. I would like to take a Mims lower, but you can't. I wonder if there's a Dallas Goedert lower available. There's not. Houston and Baltimore. Man, do they have... Okay, I'm going to take Nick Chubb lower than 33.5 rushing yards. Outside of injuries, what player with an ADP within the first 2 rounds do you think ends up with the worst advance rate? Probably Ladd. It's probably Ladd McConkey. All right, so it's not going to let us do the Boosterino. We just have to take the normal number, the 1x number. And then we do that. And then there you go. All right, so we've got Chubb. We're going to do Isaiah Bond. We're going to take him higher than 25.5 rushing. No, higher than a half receiving yards. Dallas at the New York Jets. Let's do higher than 20.5 receiving yards. Higher than 11.5 longest reception for Breece Hall, I think is good. Yeah, I mean Chase. Oh yeah, Chase Brown. Sorry, Chase Brown is going to be the lowest. Chase Brown is totally dead. Las Vegas at Indianapolis. We're going to do higher than 4.5 receptions for Jacoby Myers. The New York Giants. We're going to do higher than 14.5 rushes for Alvin Kamara. Miami at Carolina. We are going to do higher than 59.5 receiving yards for Teteroy and McMillan. Tampa Bay at Seattle. We're going to take Zach Charbonnet not to score a touchdown. Tennessee at Arizona. Ooh, there might be some good lowers here. Ooh, Chig. We're going to do Chig lower than 30.5 receiving yards. Commanders at Chargers. All right. Oh, I've reached the max number of entries. Okay. We're going to do 12 non-site credit real dollars for that Boostober. Bada bing, bada boom. I would not give up Brian Thomas Jr. for Breece Hall right now. There you go. Link is in the description. Link is in the chat. Man, the Boostober. $50 profit boost. Yeah, I got nothing on bases. Diamond After Dark. Yeah, it's a big T-Mac week. I agree. Okay. We'll knock out a couple more BRs and then we will get out of here. GM Brian, how we doing, sir? How's everyone doing, man? You guys enjoying your fantasy football season? Is anyone having like a great year? Is anyone just like, man, fantasy football has never been easier than it is right now? I wonder what it must be like for some of those people. Just have unbelievably good fantasy football seasons. I got an offer, BTJ for Woody Marks. Wow. Who would you rather have rest of the season? The Brian Thomas Jr. usage was a little bit more encouraging last week. Little bit. Not like great, but he was more of a normal part of the offense last week. Oh, a top 200 big gorilla. Hank says no idea. 4-0 in one league, 0-4 in another. Woody Marks is not a handcuff. Woody Marks is the starting running back. Yeah, they ruined the FanDuel slate. How many round 2 picks matter right now? Well, Andrew, on the stream yesterday, we went through a whole draft board and we determined how many players matter in fantasy football, and we realized no one matters. We realized that basically everyone's dust. I'm not saying Marks is more valuable than Hall, no. I think it's fine for him to only be targeted on routes outside of the numbers if he's actually going to receive the ball, which he was actually doing. Oh, I'm sure there are many Puka CMC teams out there. I mean, we can check that. JSN, Barkley. Well, you know what? We're gonna do JSN and Trey McBride. How many? All right, you guys guess. How many Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua teams are going to be in Best Ball Mania? There are 672 total teams in Best Ball Mania. One of my best teams is a Puka CMC. Yeah, the Stafford Cryo Freeze. There you go. 550. It's 410. And they're currently advancing 56.1%. All right, imagine I want to find Oh, I want to find the lowest scoring version of that team. Wow, Ben Haskell. Ben Haskell is a member of this channel. Ben Haskell drafted this on 428. Oh, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. He drafted Caleb, Stafford, Geno, CMC, Brees, Montgomery. Wow, this team has legs. Puka, DJM, Sutton, Rome, Pittman, Shaheed, Keenan, Gesicki, Cole Kmet, Zach Ertz. What a team. All right, let's see if there's a Jackson, Smith, and Jigba version of this team. I'm sure there is. My dad beat me to the waiver wire for Michael Carter, then immediately offered me Carter and Pittman for Nico. I'm putting him in a home. Wow. 72% advance rate if you have those players. Kind of incredible, man. In 2 big gorilla leagues, one is 3-1, other 0-4. Yeah. Well, at least in the big gorilla, you can get in on points. All right. We have JSN. We have Trey McBride. Oh, this is a good spot to do what I was talking about earlier, the double scroll at running back. So we're going to take Brees and Rashad White. That's a really good double scroll. Yeah, it is kind of incredible. Let's go look. This one should be narrowing up. There's only 33. This team is 8th place in its pod with these 3. Purdy, Roger Shuck. Alongside CMC, he drafted Jalen Warren, Tank Bigsby, Isaac Guerrero, Braylon Allen, and Jalen Wright. So basically all zeros at running back. Then Hunter, Olave, Ayuk, Shakir, Bateman, George Kittle, and David Njoku. That's just bad luck. Does anyone have these 3 in James Cook? Does anyone have these 3 in... Well, the right way to do this is without CMC. There's 3 teams. 3 teams. All right, let's remove CMC because this will open it up. There'll be way more versions of this. Because if you remove the first round pick, yeah, 607, including the 4th place team. Including the 4th place team. Full PPR, I would do Godwin. Godwin over McConkey, I think. Yeah, living the dream. Living the absolute dream. All right, we are 13 minutes away from the premiere of Thinking About DFS, so I hope that all of you will stick around and think about DFS. We are also, you guys might not know this, we are very close to to 10,000 subscribers. Insanely close, people are saying, actually, to 10,000 subscribers. Should we do Kyler on this team? Should we do Herbert? Nick Sutton? I mean, a lot of different ways you can go with this team. Chris, do you not know about Thinking About DFS, bro? Yes, we can look at the 3 teams. All right, let's do... Actually, let's just take Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is going to be better than any of these jabronis anyway. And let's also take Lad McConkey. I mean, why not? I'm winning a pod right now where my first 2 picks were Jamar Chase and Rashee Rice. Yeah, don't give up on your dreams, bro. Never give up on your dreams. All right, let's add McCaffrey back in here, and let's determine, would we buy any of these for $100? All right, Ryan Nelson drafted Justin Fields and Jordan Love, all good. CMC, James Cook, Aaron Jones, bad. Tank Bigsby, bad. Jalen Wright, bad. J.K. Dobbins is a win. Puka, JSN. Waddle, trending good. Olave, trending fine. Golden, probably bad. Coleman, probably bad. Adonai Mitchell, probably bad. Kincaid, I mean, it's probably not great. It's probably not great to have Kincaid, but also not terrible. Freiermuth, terrible. Mason Taylor, actually probably good. I'm saying no. No to wagering $100 on this one. Wouldn't buy, but is still good for that one. All right, we got N. Ross 56, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward, Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Jordan Mason. So he's got 2 dead running backs. So he's down to just 3 guys. Puka, JSN, Ridley's dead. Golden is not great. Higgins is not great. Hollywood is dead-ish. Roman Wilson, bad. Jalen Lane, probably bad. Tyler Warren, good. Hunter Henry, good. Also would not buy this for 100. Well, Brian, you definitely shouldn't buy them blind, brother. You should not be that down bad yet. Would not buy this one for $100. Canoeitz 1, 2, 3. Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Matt Stafford. So 1 dead quarterback, 2 live quarterbacks. CMC Cook, Tootin, Shipley dead, Kendre fine. Puka good, JSN good. Waddle, Pearsall, Coleman, ugh. Shaheed, I wish it wasn't true, but it is kind of ugh. Michael Wilson, ugh. Evan Ingram dead. Kincaid fine. Cade Otton bad. I wouldn't buy any of these for $100. Yeah, I guess this basically is elite or delete, except they're all whatever. All right, there's one more exercise I wanted to do before we get out of here and go watch Thinking About DFS. I wanted to do the list of guys who are dead and see how many teams I have where no one is not dead. So we'll go Jaden Reed, Joe Mixon. We'll go Eckler, Neighbors. Then I only want to search for my own teams. How we gotta go all the list of guys who are on IR. NFL IR. Who else is dusted? I guess Trey Benson. We'll put Benson on there. Burrow is on there. Burrow, Tyreek, Connor. Bigsby's basically dead, but we'll go command injured reserve. Who else? Who else is dust? Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones is good. Aaron Jones. Yeah, Benson can come back, but I mean, you go on the IR, you're probably dust. I mean, you know, you can always find a way, but like also at the end of the day, probably not. Am I missing anyone? I see Ayuk is coming back. Well, let's run it. Let's run it this way at first. Let's run it this way. Oh wow, I only have 77 teams that don't have these guys. Only 77 teams, and a lot of bad teams. A lot of teams that are basically already dead. 10 spots back. Fields, Prescott, Chase Brown. I mean, Chase Brown's basically dead. Swift, Blue, Giddens, Hunter, all bad. AJ Brown. Oh, Mike Evans, Ridley. Oh man, there are just so many guys you don't want to have. I would rank them Slayton, JCM, DeMarcus Robinson. All right, now I want to just start putting in guys who I think are actually zeros. Let's go like Tillman, Jalen McMillan. Like now I just want to look at guys who suck. Chase Brown, T. Higgins. List is getting even narrower. Like who are just like guys who suck? Jacoby Meyer, Travis Hunter, Tajay Spears, Will Shipley, Caleb Johnson. There you go. Give me a Caleb Johnson team out of here. Besh. The best thing about 8% exposure, 92% of your teams don't have that guy. Traded Dobbins and Devonta Smith for QJ. Yeah, Jalen Wright. There's a good one. Jalen Wright had to not have him. Tyler Lockett is pretty bad, but he's round 18, whatever. Mooney's pretty bad, still injured. Who else sucks? These are basically out of guys who totally suck by here. Oh, Richardson. Richardson really sucks. Down to 49 teams of 150. Yeah, I think this is right. I think it's good to not include ADP 150 plus players. Who else is just brutal here? Pollard, basically a 0. Plays every week, never scores any points. Calvin Ridley sucks. Down to 44. Let's see. This team has 520 points. Dak and Caleb, JT. Oh, Bucky. There you go. There you go. Bucky, remove Bucky. Chuba Hubbard, Addison. Why did this team just is brutal? I wonder how is this team so bad? I guess Hubbard. Shaheed, Mims, Dubs, Pierce, Lockett. I'm not hearing you out. Yeah, I am not hearing you out on this. Removing Bucky is a bridge too far. Oh, Brian Robinson. Yeah, Brian Robinson is a 0. 39. We can eliminate all these teams probably. Oh, Braylon Allen. There you go. There's an easy 0. Braylon Allen down to 34. All right. I mean, I think we found a team with like actually no zeros. Hey, Pacheco had 12 points last week. Cedric Tillman's on there already. I think this team legitimately has no truly dead roster spot. Love, Geno, Rodgers, Jacobs, Kyron, Trevion, Jaden Blue, Tyler Algier, Taj Brooks, Jamar Chase. Chase is basically dead, but like whatever. DJ Moore, Debo, Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed, Darius Slayton, Dante Thornton, Mark Andrews, and Tucker Kraft. All right, 12th place with none of these guys who are dead. Bo Nix, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, Jeanty, Henry, Harvey, Dobbins, Miles Sanders, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Chris Godwin. This team could make a run. This team actually could make a run from 12th place. Oh, yeah, remove Ingram. Remove Ingram. That's a good call. Remove Evan Ingram. Oh, Kittle. Wow, I drafted DeMarcus Robinson. You guys made me draft DeMarcus Robinson. Mooney, Besh, Elijah Mitchell, Ray Davis is basically a 0. Ray Davis, Besh. Down to 3 of 26. Demario Douglas is wow. Deontay Johnson. You see, Deontay Johnson was just on that team. Douglas. We've got Pat Bryant is basically a 0. Miles Sanders, Jordan James. Come on. One of these has to be totally devoid. Miles Sanders, Jordan James. We got to have one team of players who are all still alive. I mean, Mike Gesicki is basically dead. Yeah, you can drop Ray Davis. Yeah. Oh yeah, CD and Kittle. CD down to 19. Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, RJ Harvey, Javonte. Oh, Roshan. There you go. Roshan and Lloyd. Marshawn. Did I already do that? Lloyd. 2 of 16. KLS, Kyle Williams, Brandon. This one's maybe close to not dead. Yeah, that's not you never want to click on a team and see Marshawn Lloyd. That's for gosh damn sure. All right, boys, we're getting out of here. We're going to go watch Thinking About DFS. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment on Thinking About DFS, and I will see you guys all back tomorrow.